folks, welcome to Week in Review. My name is Tom Vassell, and at the Dice Tower we do reviews of games every week. Well, in this video, we're going to give you kind of short snippets of all the reviews that we did over the past week, tell you what we think of them, and then in the description of the video, if you want to see more, you can click on the links of those reviews. So here we go.
Hey everybody, Z Garcia here. Last week I reviewed Pocket Madness, which is a small card game from designer Bruno Catala, one of my favorite designers, and it's basically a rummy variant with a little couple of twists in it. I like the theme, I love the artwork, and the gameplay is fun, but it's a slight game. It's a pretty simple game, something that I think might not have a lot of staying power. I also reviewed Kana Gawa, also from co-designer Bruno Catala, but I like this game a lot better. It's also gorgeous, but the gameplay is more engaging, gives you more choices, more things to think about, and in it you are deciding when you take cards, when you should take them, and what to do with those cards once you do take them. It's overall sort of a set collection game, but one that's very interesting and clever and has a nice pace to it, like it a lot. And then lastly, I reviewed Nautilion here, which is a solitaire game or two-player cooperative game. And it's in the same series as the Omniverse games. This one is a dice-driven solitaire game. I like it a lot. I think it's clever. It sort of takes roll and move and does something interesting and engaging with it. Very short game. And it has a few different expansions right in the box that liven the whole thing up a little bit. The base game, I would say, is really simple. You're going to want to move past that very quickly, but the expansions are right there in it. Definitely would recommend this one as well if you enjoy games that are for one player on the lighter side of the spectrum. So that's it for me. I'm going to see you next time.
Hey everybody, Baker here from Board Online, Board Offline. This week I reviewed Tavarua from Far Off Games by Cody Miller, designed by Cody Miller. And this is a surfing game, lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. You'll deal with barrel waves and all kinds of other stuff. And as you come in, you get points for making it all the way to shore. You get points for doing hang tens. Lots of cool stuff in this game. Doesn't outstay its welcome. It definitely is a perfect length game in my opinion, and I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. Give it a try.
Okay, well, let's start with the Camel Up card game. Now, this is a card game that is based on the Camel Up game, which won the Spiel des Jahres, but it's just a card game version. Unfortunately, I didn't think it was okay. You might as well just play the regular board game. There's just too much stuff on the table for it to be a simple card game. Go Go Penguin is a game for 2-3-year-olds where you are going to roll dice and move the mama penguin or the baby penguin along with her. It is what it is. Beautiful components, simple game, but for very young kids. Snake Oil. Now this is a reprint of the old out-of-the-box game. This one's done by Hasbro, and this is where you're basically selling people on the game. I think one of the variants where you can use as many cards as you want is the best one. The game is good. It's a fun game, but it requires creative people, and I thought the cards were a little meh, the cards that were included. Tierra. Me and Melody took a look at the second edition of this worker placement game. It's actually a very fun game. Gives you a lot of options. You're building your farm and have different things to do. I don't think it's perfectly balanced. It's a little clunkier maybe than it could be, but it's still pretty fun and has a very unique flavor to it. So it just feels different and fresh for being a worker placement game. Hellas. Jason and I took a look at this very mean game. It's an action selection, but you're basically building different groups of temples and trying to cut each other off and pick actions that you know other people can't afford doing. The game doesn't look that fantastic. Looking at it, maybe it looks like every other game, but it feels unique and it's light and not light, but medium and simple. Blood of an Englishman. This is a two-player asymmetrical game where one person's playing Jack and the other person's playing the Giant. You have some cards on the table. You're moving these cards around, trying to accomplish your goals. Very thinky, but with perfect information. It's very interesting. Oh, and a great artwork. Cash and Guns Team Spirit. This is the second expansion for the new version of Cash and Guns, and this one brings teams into the mix. Teams into the mix is a really good thing. It gives you kind of a focus. Your team is working together. It also adds some new guns and adds a new variant with mercenaries, one that I liked very much. Then we have Welcome Back to the Dungeon. Welcome Back to the Dungeon is the sequel to Welcome to the Dungeon. It's essentially the same game with different characters, but the new characters are really fun to play with. The two games work together, and there are special monsters in this version which help out quite a bit. Hello, airplane. Dixit expansion, Revelations. Now, this is my favorite expansion. I mean, with the Dixit game, basically all you can talk about is the artwork, and in this game, the artwork is amazing. As far as I can tell, the artist, it's her first game that she's done, but this artwork really harkens back to the original Dixit. They also have gold print on it. The Orleans expansion, another expansion I just absolutely loved. This is essentially more of the same. However, it adds a new board which takes the place of one of the ones in Orleans, which just really changes up the game for me. It also adds cards to go around and deliver stuff. Basically, it adds several new little tiny modules, but two of them I find to be absolutely essential. Conan. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Conan. The whole thing is a little misogynist, the artwork and such in the game, but the gameplay itself is amazing. Just, you got to take into account when it was written and all that stuff. But the gameplay itself, having different, having Conan run around and fight. The Dungeon Master is the best version of that I've ever seen. Basically, just back and forth taking actions. It is an excellent, excellent game. We also did so the People's Choice. So you see that. Last year I did a little video on tips for people going Christmas shopping for board games for others, and we did our top 10 one-hit wonders, games from a designer's one game, and we want to see more games from that designer. All right, well that's it for Weekend Review. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.